Start these notes by putting your name on your piece of paper in the upper left-hand corner, as you can see. Make a note that you're in Art 2 with exclamation point. Once again, I thank you for being in Art 2. Title these notes, Acrylic paint. Okay, now there are a number of things I need you to learn and remember about acrylics, so let's go ahead and start number one. Okay, let's give you a definition of the acrylic paint. Let's call it water-based plastic paint. So you'll be working with liquid plastic when you're with the acrylics. And also you have to remember that if there is water involved, there's going to be life, and that's why there is mold that sometimes grows in the paint. Notation number 2. Now, this type of paint has not been around that long. It was invented in this year, note this, 1934. So famous artists that you might have heard of like Da Vinci, Michelangelo, or Vincent van Gogh did not have the opportunity to work with the acrylic paint like you do. Now, they were invented in 1934, but for notation number 3, I want you to note that they did not become commonly available until the 1950s. So in terms of their age, it's a relatively new art media. Continuing, number 4. Now, one of their best qualities is this one here, number 4. They are quick drying. So they will dry within minutes, which is one of their great qualities, contrasting with a paint like oil paint, which might take hours, days, weeks, or even months to dry. So acrylic paint does have that quality. They are quick drying. Okay, number 5. Now, number 5 is one of their best qualities, and students love it. You may write down fixable. So if you make a mistake in acrylic paint, you'll be able to paint over it and fix it, unlike the watercolors. Once again, students really like that quality of the acrylics. Okay, a couple warnings. Number 6. This type of paint will stain your clothing. Try not to get it on yourself. So if you would write stains. Try not to ruin your clothing when you're working with the acrylics. Okay, number 7. I want you to write sink visits. Now, when you're working with the acrylic, it will not be necessary for you to change out your water. So for the number of sink visits, in parentheses, if you would know 2. 1 at the beginning when we start, 1 at the end when we're cleaning up, no visits in the middle. Continuing, number 8. Now you will receive a plastic foam plate. This plate will be your palette. It'll be where you mix your paint. And you're going to get 1 plate. So don't throw it away at the end of our class period. Save it in your locker. You'll use it the next time. Okay, number 9. Now I need you to resist the temptation of peeling dried paint off your plate. So I want you to write down, don't peel. There are a couple things. It can ruin your plate, but the one that I want you to make a note of, you can indent for A, is what I don't want to have happen is I don't want you to get any mold under your fingernails. So I want you to make a note of that. Avoid mold. So do your best not to touch the paint at any time. Even if you think it might be dry, try to keep your hands off the paint. Okay, number 10. Now for number 10, I want you to write brush care. Now let me give you an example. If you forgot to rinse out your brush and you're painting with watercolors, you could leave that brush alone for 50 years, 100 years. And then as soon as you dip that brush in water, the watercolor would come out of the bristles. However, the acrylics are liquid plastic, and in about 1 hour, the paint will fuse to the bristles, and it's going to ruin your brush. So, indent for me. I want you to write rinse brush. So at the end of each class period, when you're done painting, you've got to take care of your brush and rinse it. Don't let any paint fuse to the bristles. Okay, finally, number 11. Now for number 11, I want you to write the word fun. Exclamation point. Acrylics, most students believe, are much more fun than watercolors, and I hope you find that to be true as you work with the acrylics during this outstanding painting unit.